Welcome to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcasts.
In this podcast, we'll take a look at the Single Market Emergency Instrument proposed by the European Commission to ensure that essential goods and services continue to flow when the next crisis hits us. A move that some see as an essential step to prevent shortages and others as a power grab by the European Commission. Stay with us.
No flour, no sunflower oil, gaming consoles or new cars. The COVID-19 crisis first and Russia's war on Ukraine later made it crystal clear. For 30 years, the single market has been the cornerstone of European integration, aiming to ensure the free movement of goods and services, capital and persons. But it is not infallible.
No, it isn't. Recent shocks jammed the until now well-oiled machine, showing not only how vulnerable to crises the single market is, but also the extent to which the EU economy relies on it functioning smoothly.
The answer to such disruptions was also crystal clear. It's time to make it stronger. But how?
With new tools that allow the EU to react faster and collectively when the next crisis hits us, so that essential goods and services stay available and shortages are prevented.
And that's exactly what the new Single Market Emergency Instrument proposed by the European Commission in September 2022 aims at. Let's hear Vice President Margrethe Vestager.
We need new tools that allows us to act fast and collectively at whatever kind of risk we face, so that we can ensure two things. First, that our single market remains open, fair, and continues to provide the most important things for doing business. And second, that the goods of vital importance remains available to meet the needs of people in Europe. The new Single Market Emergency Instrument will give us such tools.
So, how would it work?
The proposed regulation would set up measures to anticipate, prepare for, and respond to the impacts of crises on the single market, complementing existing rules for specific sectors and products like medicines, semiconductors, food, or financial services, which already count with targeted crisis response measures.
It establishes a new crisis management framework to identify different threats to the single market and trigger a response adapted to the risk level.
Think about it as a traffic light system that goes from green to orange to red. So when the light is green, meaning there is no crisis, and the single market functions normally, the contingency planning framework would allow the European Commission and EU countries to do trainings and simulations and to set up a coordination and communication network to be well prepared.
If the light switches to orange, it means a threat to the single market has been identified and the Commission can activate the vigilance mode, which includes monitoring supply chains and building up reserves of key products.
If the light becomes red, things are getting tricky. We're dealing with a major crisis that is disrupting the single market, and the Council of the EU can activate the emergency mode. In this scenario, free movement would be upheld through a blacklist of prohibited restrictions, such as intra-EU export bans of strategic goods or services, or bans that have an impact on their supply chains, or restrictions on the free movement of persons that play a key role in solving the crisis, such as doctors or pilots.
The Commission would have the power to scrutinise restrictions imposed by member states and ask for these to be reversed should they go against the general interest.
The Commission could also recommend member states to ensure the availability of crisis-relevant goods and facilitate public procurement of such goods on behalf of EU countries. And only under very exceptional circumstances and following a separate activation procedure, it could also ask businesses to hand over information about their production and supply chains and prioritize orders.
Now, while everyone agrees that better preparedness and coordination of European level is necessary, some EU capitals are critical of the new powers the Commission would get under the emergency instrument and have called for clear limits.
The German State Secretary, Sven Giegold, said it's important that it remains a crisis instrument and the French Minister Delegate for Industry, Roland Lescure, expressed similar concerns.
This is the challenge with the Single Market Emergency Instrument. It has to be efficient, but at the same time not too restrictive. So debate will focus especially on the decision-making procedure. When can the crisis mode be activated? And who decides on that and the measures that need to be taken?
So the future regulation needs to clearly define what counts as a crisis that would allow triggering the emergency mode of the new mechanism.
Some member states also wince at the idea that businesses be asked to hand over information about their production and supply chains in a crisis, a concern shared by organizations such as Business Europe. Here's Martinas Barisas, Director for Internal Market at Business Europe.
We strongly believe that the vigilance and emergency mode provisions such as on priority rated orders, mandatory nature of information disclosure requirements, stockpiling of products, and intrusive market monitoring were disproportionate and actually failed to focus on the protection of single market freedoms or to ensure a cooperative approach by mobilizing the society. Such disproportionately far-reaching state intervention measures would work actually counter the flexibility, cost efficiency, and speed of actions, which are all necessary when mitigating a crisis. So SMEI needs rather significant improvements.
The European Parliament's rapporteur, Andreas Schwab, supported the proposal's intention to safeguard the free movement of goods, workers and services, but suggested some improvements, notably on resilience and the free movement of workers, goods and services.
Want to know more? Check out Guillaume Raguenaud's full policy brief on the EPRS website or in our app.
This is a European Parliamentary Research Service podcast.
Thanks for listening.